Today, on World Hypertension Day, doctors are raising alarm over the growing number of young Indians being diagnosed with high blood pressure, often without any warning signs. According to the World Health Organization, uncontrolled hypertension remains one of the leading causes of premature deaths globally. In India, nearly 1 in 4 adults suffers from high blood pressure, while around 27% remain unaware of their own condition. Doctors are warning that hypertension is a silent killer that can severely damage vital organs, including the heart, brain, kidneys, and eyes, if left untreated. One such case is that of 20-year-old college footballer Anil Nair, who was diagnosed with persistent hypertension during a routine health checkup despite being lean, active, and physically fit. His blood pressure reportedly measured 155/98. In another case, 32-year-old marketing professional Rohan Mehta ignored frequent headaches and fatigue, blaming stress and long work hours. But medical tests revealed blood pressure above 160/100, along with signs of kidney damage, including elevated creatinine and blood urea levels. Health experts say rising stress, poor sleep, unhealthy eating habits, and lack of regular screening are contributing to the growing hypertension burden among young adults in India. We have Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Chairman, Nephron Clinic, now joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us. Amongst all the lifestyle diseases that are creeping up on the young adults of India, I don't think enough gets spoken about hypertension. And talk to us, how does one, especially the ones below 40 years of age who are susceptible to hypertension, how does one protect themselves against it?
Good afternoon. So we are living in a world which is running more after lifestyle, and they're forgetting life itself. That's really the bottom line. We have 1/3 of the Indian population which is hypertensive, and out of those hypertensives, more than 1/4, that is 27%, don't even know that they are hypertensive. Only 12% have got adequate care to control blood pressure. Rest of them, almost 90%, have uncontrolled hypertension. It's a cliche, but it's important to mention the 7 bad S's which are affecting today's generation. Excess salt, S, sugar; spirit is alcohol; smoking; substance abuse; sedentary lifestyle; and stress. When you're looking at the causes, apart from these big bad S's, it's genetics, fast food, ultra-processed food, obesity, uh, overall disrupted sleep patterns, and excess of social media. And it is this hypertension has a systemic spillover. The reason is you have a gut, brain, and cardiac axis. What we eat, how we behave, how we sleep, how we interact, overall environmental pressures and stresses affect the heart. There are toxins which are released, certain hormones which are released, there are cytokines which are released, and these damage the heart. They accelerate atherosclerosis, they precipitate heart attacks, coronary artery disease, abnormal arrhythmias, and so on. And the net result is then they go on to have chronic kidney disease, blindness, cerebrovascular strokes, and so on. It's really, really important that every person after the age of 30 at least should have once every 2 years a routine executive health check. But every person once a year, at least in the pediatric age group, should have their blood pressure checked. Unfortunately, the blood pressures are not checked. Unfortunately, the weight is not being monitored. Unfortunately, correct advice, even from the medical fraternity, is not going home as a carry home message, door to door, house to house, that we have to look after our overall lifestyle to prevent long term complications as far as hypertension is concerned. You look at pediatrics, you have a prevalence rate of 7 to 10%. That's too high because these young children, when they grow into adolescence, and young adults are going to have established hypertension. When you're looking at an overall picture, you have to look at diet advice, exercise advice, sleep in time, eat well but not wrong, but for heaven's sake, stay away from excess social media. Our entire world is being involved in how many reels are shared, how many likes we get, who friended, who befriended. That's completely absurd. It's important that today's generation gets a grip on itself, eat well, sleep well, and stay calm. Don't get stressed.
The one thing I want to ask you at this stage is this: when it comes to other lifestyle diseases, be it diabetes and others, they are related, yes. But when it comes to just blood pressure and hypertension, for diabetes, they say stop eating sweets, start exercising, and then have a active lifestyle, and that helps. Whereas hypertension and blood pressure is affecting people who are fit, who are sports people. There's what is the way to detect and prevent, if at all it is possible? How does one figure out? And do you think, apart from do you think regular screening of blood test results should be a starting point, and from there we build on how to deal with hypertension?
So 3-point advice I always give, not only the index person who's coming in, but to the entire family. One is to get a routine blood test and a urine test at least once a year. Two, every person who comes into the clinic when they're having the vitals checked, that is temperature, pulse, respiration, height, weight, please include a blood pressure. Don't write blood pressure normal. Normal is very relative. We need a documented statistical value because there are charts according to the age, sex, and weight of the patients. Point number three, you have to look at your lifestyle. If you are even fit but indulging in smoking or random alcohol, binge drinking, substance abuse, um, uh, s- uh, abnormal sleep patterns, or excess social media, these are stressful situations which are insults for the body. The body recognizes it as stress. The body then releases a stress hormone known as cortisol, which then goes into what we call as oxidative stress and oxidation in terms of your cellular metabolism. Your cellular metabolism gets disrupted, plaques form in your arteries, and therefore the cardiac events happen.
Okay, and you don't think that there is when it comes to diabetes, at least they say there's family history, all contributed. What about hypertension and blood pressure? How much of it is also hereditary, and how much of it is belonging to a particular blood type or or a particular section?
Yes, indeed, genetics does play a part, undisputedly. There is a familial history, there is a genetic history, there are markers to show this. But the more important thing is how we conduct ourselves from the morning till the evening. Our body needs 7 hours of minimum sleep. Our body needs 7,000 steps a day. Our body needs not junk food and ultra processed food, but routine, good, homemade, balanced diet. We have moved far away from our era when we were children, as adolescents, teenagers, and young adults, where good home nutritious food was made. Therefore, in the last 25 years, we have statistically seen a 62% increase in hypertension incidence. That is unacceptable. I think we need to drive this message home. Unfortunately, what happens in India is that these kind of public messages goes out only once a year or twice a year or 3 times a year, or if a very, very earth moving, shattering study is published in one of the international journals. Health messaging must be an agenda for all of us every day of our life. Every human being, every soul we touch with correct messaging will save one more human life.
Okay, Dr. Sajid Bhai, before we let you go, tell us, going forward, what will be the key to ensure you get all your ducks in a row? Clearly, health is wealth is something that you don't need to impress upon anymore. People already know it, are feeling the pinch of it, they're feeling the pressure of it. The only question is, how do you, because usually the conversation about health comes after a particular stage in life, particular age in life, 35, 40. That's when you sort of, go to doing these things. Now it has to start right from the teenage years, isn't it? If not even before. And awareness today is so much more than before. But then again, these young minds are exposed to so much of health related content on social media. They can be driven in the wrong direction because of it as well. In the pursuit of maintaining good health, in the pursuit of getting to scientific ways of fixing your health, there is so much chance, so many things can go wrong.
Yeah, so there is two unmentioned rascals which cause heart disease and various other organ disease. One is air pollution, including heavy metals, and second is micro nanoplastics. Both these are in very high concentrations in most of the developed nations, including the developing nations, 365 days a year. They cause direct harm to the coronary arteries. But having said that, the entire process of disease genesis begins in utero. How good the pregnancy is in terms of health impacts the fetus. How healthy the fetus is impacts the early childhood. And early childhood good health gives you good teenage health and later on adult health. I am today what I was yesterday. I will be tomorrow what I am today. So we have to focus on ongoing disciplined lifestyle. Discipline cannot be a one-off incidence as a fashion statement. Discipline has to be ingrained as a everyday routine.
Right.
First 50 years, we keep struggling to earn money, and then suddenly we spend that money which we've earned over decades because we have bad health. That is unacceptable.
Absolutely.